We're gamers, we like games, we play games because we're gamers. We got no lives, we've got jobs, this is our hub.
Hi fucking hello everybody, this is Fett here, and we are back to our Fett-ish Reviews. This week, it's going to be a movie. Considering that we're in the month of Halloween and doing some sort of frightening, spooky, dark stuff, I thought I'd go over a somewhat recent release, on Netflix of course, the Death Note movie. Now I have quite a few things to say. I tried recording something like this before for it, and it went really long and I had a lot to say about it. So I guess beforehand I'll let you guys know, get my bias out of the way, I didn't necessarily care for it. I have watched Death Note, the TV show, before watching this, and I prefer the TV show. Of course, there's a big difference between a TV show with multiple episodes and one 90 to 120 minute movie, so I'll take that into account. We'll be reviewing various things from watchability, pacing, continuity, the effects, characters, plot, originality, and reference to source material, presentation style, and entertainment value. Those are what it will be graded upon, where I will derive my out of 10, and of course any bonus points or bonus negative points it may give. So without further ado, let's get in. So I want to go over a couple of the positive things, as I typically do with every review. I'll touch on some of the positives first, go to the negative, and then come back with the positives. So when it comes to the plot, the movie isn't too bad on its own. On its own, this is a decent sort of teenage love, kind of a almost kind of a satire of the 80s and a satire of teen romance and teen kind of thriller horror. And that I actually really appreciated with the plot, and especially it's the style. The style was really nice, and the presentation was amazing. This movie looked great. Most of its effects were very well done, especially on the budget it had. Ryuk looked amazing, even though we didn't see him enough. And I really appreciated the style. I didn't necessarily care for it. The whole 80s theme and that kind of threw me off, and it was a little weird, but I could at least appreciate it. I could respect the fact that someone, an artist, was trying to make something unique. And that also goes to the originality. This thing was somewhat original. It did have some cliches, especially when it comes to the sort of love interest in male-female, and one of them turns on each other. Oh, I guess I should do a spoiler alert for those of you. Yes, one of them does turn on each other. Which of course you would expect from a Death Note thing, but I felt that this movie was pretty original, it was pretty beautiful, and had good style, and its plot was easy to follow. Fairly easy to digest. It kind of went, it wasn't too convoluted until a certain point, and it did explain it within itself. So its continuity was pretty well as well. It was pretty good as well. It kept its continuity. Of course, with all that said, it has a lot of problems. Its characters suck. I did kind of like some of the tweaks they did, but its characters really sucked. They were weak, and they were far less than a one-dimensional cutout of the characters in the TV show. And many of them weren't even at all true to form. They messed up Light, they messed up Misa. They got the father a little bit wrong, but it works. They Americanized the father, which makes sense. And I actually liked the father character. Ryuk was pretty good. He was kept pretty true, except he was a little bit more, they made Ryuk seem a little bit more serious, and I didn't necessarily like that. I liked the more lighthearted Ryuk that kind of had this sort of ironic, sarcastic view of everything, rather than being kind of this really cold, vicious, uncaring character. I think the sarcasm would have worked better with Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe was great, but it still was a workable read. It could have worked into the story. L was good for half of it, and then what the fuck for the rest of it, and didn't it all go? And the ending was just terrible, except for one part. But I guess I'll go into it why the characters suck. So we'll start with the main character, Light. Light was nothing at all like he is. They hinted at him being intelligent, in the fact that they mentioned that he was intelligent, and they had him kind of doing homework for people for money, which is somewhat intelligent, but it doesn't show the grand scale of intelligence that it actually showed with Light. And he was also a coward and very much an outcast. That it was kind of like the nerdy outcast that no one really paid attention to, and was kind of an introvert. Where in the show, he was a genius, known and liked by many people, and was very extroverted and very much a sociopath. He knew he could manipulate people. He knew how to manipulate people. They showed this. They showed this. And you could have shown this with the time they gave Light in the movie. Misa was interesting. She was a lot darker than the Misa from the TV show. The TV show Misa was a celebrity that ended up falling for Light because she had fallen for the actual Kira and had become infatuated with Kira, and then discovered Light was Kira, and then became even more infatuated with Light. And she was a lot more naive, but still smart enough to know how to get Light to find her, and smart enough to help take things down. But she was a lot more of like the trusting lover, which is what she wanted to be. The Misa in the show, in the movie, was very in control. She was almost the true Kira, running the show, calling the shots. She even tried to kill Light herself. Very dark, very kind of weird, sort of like a sexualized attraction to it. And while there was a bit of a sexual attraction from Misa to Light, it was more that she kind of felt she owed her life to Kira, and then discovered it was Light and became sexually attracted to Light. Where this, it was like a sexual, it was almost like a fetish about using the death note. And it was just kind of weird. But her character, she had continuity within the story, but her character was very different. L, the biggest one. L was, at the beginning, very much like the L from the TV show, cartoon, the manga, or not the manga, the anime. Very introverted, doesn't really like talking to people, very weird, but very brilliant and well thought out. Then they had a completely switch. He became completely out of control of his emotions and threatening to kill Light, and even based on the ending, potentially does try to kill Light. Completely wrong. While L would consider to write a name in the book to discover how it works, L would have not willingly tried to kill Kira. He would have brought Kira to justice. He wanted to bring Kira the shame and the knowledge that he would not escape justice, that he would see the justice that he felt he could put onto others. The other thing too, and this is the dynamic, they didn't get the dynamic between L and Light very well. See, L and Light were very much a mirror of each other, and inverse opposites. Light was a empathetic, I guess not was empathetic, but Light was an extroverted sociopath who thought himself above everyone else. He knew how to use people to get what he wanted. L was an introverted empath. So he understood people and knew how people worked to better figure out their next moves. They both played a cat and mouse game with who would catch the other. And while Light knew L was L, he didn't know L's true name, true identity. He couldn't kill L. And the game was him trying to find a way to kill L, while L tried to find out if Light was truly Kira. That was the dynamic, and they played off of each other. Their intelligence, the different workings of L understanding Light, and seeing through Light, through his sort of, I guess you could say, empathetic perception, being able to deduce Light's true motives, Light's true feelings and thoughts. And Light was able to very much play on the emotions and the feelings and the character of everyone else around him to make himself appear as if he may not be Kira. And it was great. They completely threw out that dynamic. They had one scene together where Elle's like, I think you're Kira. And Light's like, maybe I am. So what? That's not Light at all. It was stupid, it was dumb, and they went right into then the third act, and oh, it was terrible. It really hurt the watchability how bad the characters were for me, and that's the big thing. It's hard to sit and watch a movie multiple times or really enjoy it when you get sucked out by things like that. This is an issue I've had with other movies like Jurassic World and a few others where I just get taken out of the movie and then the illusion of being captured and captivated by the film is lost because of moments like that. I call them film breakers. You know, stop the movie dead. You're like, oh, okay, I'm watching a movie. I remember I'm in a theater. You kind of, you can lose yourself in the film, and that took it out. The plot too, while the plot was decent, I'd say the plot's a 50-50 because the plot involving the characters was terrible, but the actual motion of the story was pretty decent. And what I mean by motion, I mean the story itself, the story it tried to tell was nice. The characters were not that good, and their interactions weren't that good. And of course too, the pacing was really weird. It was really fast in certain areas, and I would have loved to have seen more of the Kira killings, more with Light and Elle. Would have loved to have seen more of that. It kind of threw things around when it needed to really stop and breathe and focus, and then it really also focused way too much on things that weren't necessary. Another thing too that kind of really took me out with the watchability was the cliche, how cliched it was. While the style was very nice, it did rely a lot on kind of Final Destination style of the killings, which wasn't so much of what happened a lot. Most of the deaths in the actual Death Note anime were by heart attack, but this was so convoluted, and this happens, and then that happens, and then this and that. It really took me out of it as well. It was another movie stopper. So that kind of made an issue. Of course, going back to some more positives before I finish up. Entertainment-wise, because of the style and because of the presentation, it was decently entertaining. It was original within itself. Of course, it didn't really follow the source material as I've already touched on, but it looked nice. It had an interesting style, and with that, it made it good effects. So it was entertaining for the most part. And then also being a fan of the original source material, or at least the source material it's derived from, part of it, you kind of get the discussion part, and you get some entertainment value out of it. Well, I recognize that, the Easter eggs and such. So it was okay. Would I recommend it? If you're a fan of the manga or a fan of the anime, if you are a diehard fan and love the characters to the point of would hate seeing them being ruined, don't watch it. Don't even touch it. If you're a fan but you can handle the story being told in a completely weird and off way that makes no sense as if it's an alternate new universe, fine, do it. Watch it and see what you think. I would give it a 4 out of 10. Now, originally, it got Originally, it had a 6 out of 10. However, because it had 2 times that really took me out of it, as well as the not sticking to source material, that brought it down by 2 points for me, where I was taken out of the movie and it didn't give enough to the source material that I would like. So for that, I give it a 4 out of 10. Again, it's a movie that could have not been made. What I think would have been better is if the movie had been a bit different about, say, the Death Note before, that it was who Ryuk had it with before he gave it the light, and maybe L's first case with a Death Note, and maybe have it be that it's something he's dealt with before. That would have been an interesting story. As well as the ending, I would have tweaked. Now, for those who haven't seen the ending, one thing I enjoy is that they have the dad live throughout. He dies in the anime. Spoiler, I guess, for that too. I've already given a few spoiler warnings. In the anime, the father dies, but in the movie, he lives to the end. And he is the first to figure out that Light, truly figure it out, that Light is Kira, and he calls him on it. And to see Light having to deal with that was amazing. That's something I kind of wanted to see in the anime. I wanted to see Light have to deal with that and then have to kill his father. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see Light go through that torture and see that he was actually human. That was a great point. I would have had it be that the Death Note had ended up with his father, and his father had to make the choice of writing Light's name in it, of killing him, or having him face trial. That would have been a far better ending. I hope you liked this review. If you did, give that like button a nice good game on its top little butt. Thank you guys for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out my other reviews I have. So far I only have one out, and it's of a game, but there will be more, and I'm excited to continue to put them out there for you. It is the month of Halloween, so I may be doing some more scary-related stuff, some Spooksville stuff. We will be going into other holidays, and I'll be doing maybe some stuff related. However, for now, you enjoy the spooky stuff. You have a good, safe Halloween, good, safe holidays. Make sure to check out the description. All the cool people in there, they enjoy holidays, so give them some love. If you want to give some really good holiday love, you can check out my Patreon and PayPal. But the biggest thing is subscribe. I really love that. Share me around. And of course, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And you have a good fucking day. Bye.